Gypsy's boyfriend Ken joined Sir Morbid's live last night. Ken adamantly defended Gypsy. I want to share a few clips from that live. In the first clip, Ken is asked if he's watched Gypsy's interrogation videos.
That she was a scared person in a situation that she never expected to be in. And I think that like her and 99% of other people who are ever in a situation like that in an interrogation room, they're in a self-preservation mode and they'll say
You
things
can
to
see
help themselves and try and, help get them off the hook essentially.
This was Ken's response when someone said Gypsy is not being truthful.
So are you denying that she never had any unnecessary surgeries done against her?
my own personal opinion. Yes.
But you've
Okay,
switched back.
so
I don't
explain.
Hold
believe
on,
that
I want
guys.
she
you to
did.
Let him
explain.
talk here. Let's hear
So
it.
why did her mother shave her head to give her the appearance of being sick? Why did her mother make her sit in a wheelchair?
For the
Because
when never
fraud,
taught her
for
to
the
walk?
con. Hold on, let me answer. For the fraud, for the con, because that's what it was. Medical
Okay, and
fraud.
so Gypsy, who had been under her mother's control her entire life, never got to experience a real childhood like any one of us did.
She
Went to
should have
elementary
ran
school,
away
went to middle school. So okay, so she tried that before. Okay, and what
in
happened? She got taken
2011,
back home,
and then she
and then her mother would tell the
manipulated a
police.
mentally stunted
Okay, it's
man.
easy for you to say that with the perspective that you have, but it's not easy for
The
her to say that with
facts,
the childhood
sir.
that she grew up in. You can't put yourself
She
in an
could have
abuse victim's
left.
shoes and
She
tell
stood
her
up
what
in
she
front
should
of the
have done.
doctor. We've seen where she
Did that
admitted she
ever did that
stood
amount
up.
to anything? It's like you're being
Exactly.
willfully ignorant and blinded by hatred.
Ken was asked why the doctors aren't being held accountable.
How can I explain that? I have no idea.
you never talk to your
Right,
Why
exactly,
girl.
because it's malingering. That's the problem, is that you know, and they know, and you guys know that there was something else going on because Gypsy knew at an age that she was liable to be convicted of fraud. That's the problem. Is that not?
You're so far from the truth. I don't even know how to respond to that. Of abuse who went through ungodly things that I could never even imagine and dream of. Therefore, I cannot put
Like
myself
what?
in the
Can you
shoes of
tell
that
me some of
person
these?
and imagine what thought process or things that she had to go through
What
mentally at the time.
ungodly things? Is this part of the story?
Having
Is
her
it ever?
salivary glands removed, forcing
They
her to
were
sit in a
Have you?
wheelchair,
That
giving
it
her
was
seizure
needed.
medication that made her teeth rot out. I mean,
That's not why
ungodly
her teeth
procedures.
rotted out. See, you're not informed.
Yes, I
You're
am.
You're
just won't let you
taking
know.
Gypsy's word over facts.
No, I'm very well educated on the
You
case.
went through these medical documents where everything's explained.
I'm very aware of them all.
When he was asked if he feels bad for Ryan, this was his response.
I've never spoken ill about Ryan on any kind of platform, in any kind of comment or any kind of camera situation. I've always just,
The refrigerator
said
tour.
no
Those are the
comment.
digs.
Okay, that is the one thing I ever did, was all that I ever did was I imitated his voice terribly, might I add, as saying the word fridge tour. But that was just like a fun, goofy moment. But besides that, I have never spoken ill of him, talked ill of him, said anything negative about him. And I see that he has taken the opposite route, and that's
But
fine.
bro,
That's
you
his
broke
right.
up his marriage.
Listen. He
Is
can say whatever he
Gypsy?
wants. I'm not going to add to it though. I'm not going to come on here and try to bash him. I just want to say that, like, I have a lot to say about that. I just choose not to. There's a
Seriously.
lot that I could say, but I just choose not to.
As far as what can you say? You broke up his marriage, man. He was married.
There's a lot that I could say to that.
He also talks about the comments and rumors on his relationship with Christy.
Seen those comments talking about like this whole theory of like, how does Chrissy know Ken's dog? There's something sus about that. Well, as I said, so I came that first weekend of April. I brought Parker with me, and Parker stayed in Christy's house for the couple days that me and Gypsy went out on the town, and that's how she knew Parker. So when I came back for that second trip, which was the one that was filmed for the show, that's how she knew Parker, because he was there a month earlier. Well, Christy and I had always kind of, I mean, I don't want to say that we maintained a super close friendship, because we didn't, but like we had a good bond back when her and I were still together. And then while we were separated, we would still have like Merry Christmas, Happy Birthday kind of like text every now and then. We always kind of still in a small way retained that friendship, but like nothing too extreme or even super big. But that's why like that rapport was still kind of there, I guess. If that makes sense.
Ken said it's not true that he broke up with Gypsy because he was scared to be in the public eye.
That wasn't the reality. That was just something that got spread around the internet, but it wasn't true.
So you want to be in the public eye is what you're saying now.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I want to be in the public eye. I was saying that the reason why I separated with Gypsy was not because of the attention. And
It
Is
was
it
because
because
you
of
cared
her
about her so
bank
much
account?
that you wanted her to move on.
nice one.
I'm just
No,
asking you.
no,
That's what it
no,
sounds
no.
like.
It's not
Oh,
a
that
joke.
wasn't to
It's
you,
not a
Morbid.
joke.
Hold
No,
on one
it's not a
second.
joke, Ken.
No,
It's not a
seriously.
joke, Ken.
What was the
I'm
reason?
actually asking that.
Didn't
No,
you
I
just
mean,
say
that's
that you wanted
obviously-
her to have a better life and then you
I
needed to
want to
let her
know
go?
how. I actually have had this question for a while because anytime it comes up, the phrase is it was negatively affecting her. Like, in what sense was it negatively affecting her?
Well, it was negatively affecting her because she wasn't given
Ken
that
Urker and
space
Gypsy Rose
to
tea that's
build
about to
her
knock
own
your
self-identity, to come to her own, or to figure out her own amount of self-worth, and to
That
grow as an individual, which she had
I
never had that opportunity before prior to prison. Well, I don't believe we had the conversation to the fullest extent. And
Okay.
so when I saw the prison confessions and I saw her talk about our separation, I felt the need to reach out to Chrissy and say, this is not true, and I don't want her to think that this is why. And I told her all the full extent of the story, and then that's when that was relayed to her. But it
yeah, that's
wasn't
what I
like in
wanted
an
to know.
attempt
That was
to like reinsert myself back into her life. It was just for her to understand the full exact reason.
But Ken, you knew she was married to
Okay.
Ryan, right?
I did, sure.
And what? Just love got you, and you had to go. Try one last time, one more
I didn't
time.
try to reinsert myself into her life at the time. Like I said, it was just me explaining the full extent and the full reasons to Christy, and that was it. There was no me trying to get back in her life. That
Did you
came
have any
after. That came later.
suspicion?
Like I said, that's just a few clips from the live stream. If you want to see the whole video, you can find it here. What do you think of what Ken said in those clips? Share your opinions in the comments.